Alright, so this is what I did with that little nightstand. So the nightstand right there is a TP-Link 2.5 gigabit switch. And that is displaying my Red Hat Enterprise Linux. This is the NFS server that is serving the shared storage. It's also running KVM, which is running my third Proxmox hypervisor, and that is only just for quorum and HA. It's not really there for any other purpose other than so that I could have 3 nodes and not have to worry about the split brain. The coolest thing about this was the Beelink system. So you can see there on the back of it actually came with a mount, and you can actually just mount it right to the back of the monitor. So I was like, okay, that's sweet. So that gives me a spot for one of my Beelink systems that I've got. And then, as you can see on the side, those are little 7-inch touchscreen monitors. And I actually used Home Depot stir sticks to make the brackets across there. And then just mounted those up. And those just run off of USB power and HDMI. Then, okay, I'm like, cool. So the thing comes with a slot in the back where you usually put like a place for power. Well, it was a great place to run my cables. So down here, I've got my 2 other Beelink systems. Those are the ones running the Proxmox and the external hard drive. So right here, I've actually got a total of like 3, so if you count all 3 systems, I got 3 AMD Ryzen 7s, each running 16 cores. These 2 here are running 16 gigs of RAM, 1 gigabit NICs, 500 gig NVMEs, and then the one on the back of the monitor, that's only a little bit different. That's running 24 gigabytes of RAM, AMD Ryzen 7, 16 core, and that one actually has the 2.5 gigabits uplink. So it's like my storage side has 2.5 gigabits, my nodes have 1 gigabits. So this is what I did with that little little nightstand, and it was perfect for the project I wanted to put together. Instead of having this stuff run all over the place and laying around, I've actually been able to build this out into a real nice little lab station. Thanks for watching. Alright, so this is what I promised you, the lowdown on the hardware. So the ERQ5s, for some reason, you can't get them anymore with the Ryzen 7. But these are the ones that I'm running, and I think that's the only difference is the CPUs. So I have 2 of these, and these are running Proxmox. So you got a 16 core processor, 500 gig NVMe, you've got dual 1 gigabit NICs, which I'm only using one of them anyways, and multiple HDMI ports, multiple USB, USB-C 3, high-speed USB. So it's a very powerful little system. Like I said, 16 gigs RAM too. So this is a real nice little system. And so I've got 2 of these, each running Proxmox. Now the next system, this is a newer model. This one here, I'm actually using to run as my NFS file storage for shared storage to my Proxmox systems. Right now, I think I've got like 5 or 6 systems running in Proxmox virtually, and they are running on shared storage served off of this. Also, what I did is I also installed KVM on this, and then I set up a third Proxmox server so that I could have a true HA quorum and proper voting and didn't have to worry about split brain. If you don't know what that is, just go ahead and Google it. It's pretty much a voting process in case one of the nodes goes down. If you only have 2, they don't know which one's actually down. So if you have 3, whichever one has 2 out of the 3 votes, those are the ones that are going to stay up and running. The reason I decided to go ahead and put it on my storage, source system in KVM, that, well, if that node happens to go down, well, I have bigger problems because then everything's down because storage isn't available. Now, what I also did is I upgraded my switch because now the storage side Beelink has a 2.5 gigabit uplink. So my storage, you always want your storage side to be faster than your nodes. So my two nodes are running a gigabit each, and then my storage side is running 2.5 gigabits. And that also helps like when you're going to be pulling backups and stuff like that and everything. Right here in the video you saw before this, I've got this little nightstand, and on either side of the nightstand, I mounted these 7-inch touchscreen monitors that run on USB, have HDMI outputs, and they run great. Actually, in the video, they're just sitting there with a login screen, but you can have B top or H top running on them or something, so you can see performance or whatever. Me, I just use them just so that I can make sure everything's online, and sometimes I'll jack a keyboard into one of those systems directly. Need to log in and do something. So that way I don't have to be swapping around HDMI cables all day long. This is something that you might want to think about getting. Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 10 that's out is the version that I'm running, the latest and greatest as of January 2026. And it did not have the drivers for the NIC on this. But luckily, at the same time, because I thought I might want to run a second NIC off of this system, I bought one of these and it was only like $10. So the Red Hat Enterprise Linux actually had drivers for this. So I was able to get to the network in the internet using this. And then now that I'm connected to the internet, then I could get my drivers and download them, set them up for the NIC that wasn't default installed on this system. So just an FYI, if by chance you install Red Hat on this and you have a problem with the NIC, here's a simple $10 solution. And these are nice to have around because you can plug it into the USB port, get an extra NIC, and they do actually sell these so that you could plug it into a high-speed USB port and run 2.5 gigabits per second. That wasn't really my goal, but they do sell those. They're just a little bit more expensive. But you can actually go from USB to RJ45 over 2.5 gigabits per second because USB ports now are quite fast. They're actually faster than most NICs on computers, which is kind of funny. So, anyways, I just wanted to go through the hardware, and yet again, don't think, oh, I don't have this kind of money, and that's fine. But you start somewhere. Start piece by piece because I have a massive computer lab and a massive gaming system and environment, and people are overwhelmed when they see it. Like, wow, this is cool, but it's not like I went out and bought all this at the same time. You buy piece by piece and take care of your equipment, make sure it's cool, make sure you clean it, and take care of your stuff. Don't bang it around. And it'll last you quite a long time, and you slowly and surely get to the point where you actually got a real nice lab set up. One of the things I also had done is my old gaming system, the video card finally died and fried, but it still had onboard video. Well, I'm like, hey, this thing's still got an i7 in it, SSD, 16 gigs of RAM, why not just still use this, so I didn't throw it in the garbage, keep it around, keep those old systems because you can find something to use them for, especially something like that. If you run Linux on it, it's going to run like a champ, dude. So, a lot of low end computer systems you can get and put Linux on it, and it's going to run great because it's not Windows. So, but anyways, this is the hardware side of things and the pricing, and I just wanted to make sure that I shared with you guys. Where's the price on this? Why doesn't it show? That's weird that it doesn't show a price. That's so strange. Maybe it's out of stock or something. But anyways, then like these were not that. Oh, this one's out. I know is out of stock. But yet again, these weren't very expensive. That really surprised me. The little 7-inch touch screens, They're really cool. And like this, it's only $10. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have a lot of money in these Beelinks, but you could get smaller versions of them. This one's only like $269. So kind of go with your budget and everything else. $339, not too much of a difference, but just start building out your lab, start buying it piece by piece, and eventually, maybe a year and a half, you'll have a real nice, sweet lab, and then you can build out, something like what I've got. All right, thanks a lot for watching. Have a good day, and on to the next part.